A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, Mid-HudsonNews.com. It's Thursday, December 29th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. It was the evening after Christmas, and 12-year-old Neversink Drive resident Aiden and her mother Megan had just finished dinner. Aiden's dad was at work, and the two had been relaxing in the living room of their Town of Deer Park home when Megan decided to briefly take the family dog out. Megan had been out for a couple of minutes when she saw headlights and then heard a loud crash. The sound was caused by a pickup truck that had struck and crashed through the side of her house. I heard screaming and realized it was my daughter that was screaming, Megan said. The house was dark. I went inside and assessed my daughter to be sure she was okay, and I called 911. The driver was responsive and talking, but had pain in the legs, said the local police chief. It was intense and labor-intensive. It took more than 2 hours to free him from the truck. He was taken to the hospital. With State Republican Chairman Nick Langworthy's election to the House of Representatives in November, he will be vacating his political post in January. One of those being mentioned as possible successor is outgoing State Assemblyman Colin Schmidt of New Windsor, who lost a recent bid to run for Congress against Democrat Pat Ryan. Schmidt has not returned phone calls for comment. However, he has been making the rounds visiting Republican committee events in various upstate parts of New York. The Open Space Institute has acquired over 1,000 acres of the Shongum Catskill Corridor property from T&T Associates for $2.3 million. The property is situated between the southern boundary of the Catskill Park and the northwestern boundary of the Shongum Ridge. The purchase means the property is protected from future development. Some 500 mostly local people came to the formal grand opening of Resorts World Hudson Valley Electronic Gaming Casino at the Newburgh Mall in the town of Newburgh yesterday. The facility in the otherwise mostly vacant mall is a sister facility to Resorts World Catskills in the town of Thompson. Those who attended on opening day were having a good time.
I love it, but it could be dangerous because it's very close to home. We enjoy this. We usually go up to Monticello, and this is 15 minutes instead of an hour and 15 minutes.
It reminds me of the one up in the Catskills. Very nice. A lot of games, a lot of fun.
I think it's great because I love to go to casinos, and it's, nice and close.
The casino includes 1,200 electronic slot machines and electronic table games. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
With State Republican Chairman Nick Langworthy's election to the House of Representatives in November, he will be vacating his political post in January. One of those being mentioned as possible successor is outgoing State Assemblyman Colin Schmidt of the Hudson Valley, who lost a recent bid to run for Congress against Democrat Pat Ryan. Schmidt has not returned phone calls for comment. However, he's been making the rounds, visiting Republican committee events in various parts of the state. With Poughkeepsie Mayor Rob Rollison transitioning to the state Senate, City Administrator Mark Nelson, as the new mayor, will also become co-chair of the Poughkeepsie Children's Cabinet. He will join Poughkeepsie School Superintendent Dr. Eric Rosser, heading up the effort that was formed by Rosser and Rollison 3 years ago. Here's Nelson.
By all accounts, there are only 2 children's cabinets, one in New York City, and I think we're the only one outside of New York City to have a children's cabinet. So I'm just thrilled to be able to play a part of it. The collaboration that's been happening since the cabinet was formed, I think, has really contributed to improving the outcomes for our children and for the community.
Among its accomplishments in 2022, the Poughkeepsie Children's Cabinet released 2 reports that provide in-depth analysis of early childhood development and out-of-school enrichment and learning. A 33-year-old Wappingers Falls man was killed in a one-car crash on Route 211 near Canning Road in the town of Montgomery on Tuesday. Town Police Chief John Hank reported yesterday. He identified the victim as Frank Reynolds, who was pronounced dead at the scene of the accident just before 2 p.m. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.